Good day, brethren, and welcome to Division 2 of Lesson 8 in the CAC Sunday School lessons for the first half of 2021. Our topic is still God in Persia. Last week, we discussed how God dethroned Vashti, the queen of Persia, to enthrone his own Esther as queen. In Division 2, we will discuss moves the Persian king purposefully under the sections A, to favor Nehemiah, and B, to defend his people. And so A, to favor Nehemiah. The story is found in Nehemiah chapter 2 from verse 1 to 20. Years after Esther's story, another king was on the throne in the Persian Empire. Artaxerxes was his name. Nehemiah, a Jew, was one of his officials. And although some of the Jews had returned to their homeland many years before this period, Jerusalem's ruins were still very much visible. The walls and the temple of the Lord were yet to be rebuilt. The burden was laid upon Nehemiah's heart, and he fasted and prayed for months. The burden became evident in his countenance. Even the king noticed it. At the king's inquiry, Nehemiah explained the reason behind his sad countenance. And instead of an angry response, Artaxerxes the king empathized with Nehemiah and showed him favor. He asked Nehemiah, "What do you want?" Nehemiah sought God's face before making his request to the king. He asked for leave to visit Judah so that he may rebuild it. The king thought it was a good idea and asked for detailed plans, which Nehemiah had ready. He granted all of Nehemiah's requests and even gave him more. He even assigned soldiers to travel with him and signed papers to provide him with materials for the work. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turns it wherever he will. That's Psalm 21 verse 1 again. Nehemiah made the trip and arrived in Jerusalem safely. And then he testified of how God had been gracious towards him, and God touched the hearts of the people, and they responded positively to Nehemiah's call to rebuild. There were those that opposed, though: Sanballat, Tobias, and Geshem. But Nehemiah was confident in responding to them, saying that God was behind it and that he would prosper the work. He had committed it all to God in prayer. Now, when God is in support of what we do, we are encouraged, no matter the opposition. God is greater than all. In section B, to defend his people, we return to Esther's story in Esther chapter 3 to 8. Perhaps the reason why God worked out Esther to become queen in Persia is here revealed. Haman, one of King Ahasuerus' officials, had been promoted, and other servants were paying homage to him, except Mordecai, Esther's cousin. Report got to Haman that Mordecai refused to pay homage, and Haman began to hate Mordecai. He sought to destroy not only Mordecai, but all the Jews that were scattered abroad the kingdom. Now that period became a terrible time for the Jews, as Haman sought and got a written decree from the king to totally destroy the Jews. All this while, Esther's identity as a Jew had still not been revealed. So the decree was announced all through the kingdom and to all the leaders that on the 13th day of the 12th month, all Jews must be destroyed. Was God going to just sit back and watch his people destroyed? Mordecai was perplexed and mourned greatly. He sent word to Esther to speak to the king on behalf of the Jews and seek his intervention. Esther was afraid for her life, that she may be killed if she went into the king's presence without invitation. God, however, strengthened Esther's heart, and she agreed to go in faith and asked that all the Jews fast and pray for her safety. She said, "I will go. If I perish, I perish." God did not let her perish. Instead, she found favor before the king. Now, while this happened and Haman was still plotting evil against Mordecai, God caused the king to be restless. Mordecai had once helped the king against his enemies, and God was laying it on the king's heart to reward Mordecai's good gesture. Instead of Haman's plot of shame against him, Mordecai was greatly honored to Haman's own shame. And regarding Haman's plot to destroy the Jews, the king granted the request of Esther and withdrew the decree. The hunter Haman became the hunted. He became the victim and was hanged on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. The Jews gained victory on that day and rejoiced. May the Lord turn around the negative situations of your life to favor you in Jesus' name. Lesson summary. God makes people and situations work out His perfect will for us when we call on Him in prayer. Nehemiah prayed and God granted him favor. Esther and the Jews fasted and God turned the situations around against the enemy's plans. So, this is the end of lesson 8. We'll meet again next week for lesson 9. God bless you.